you do in a way ask for it. When did you first start dressing up and why?
At about 14, you know, that was very subtle though, at that stage.
What
I
were you
lived with
doing
my
then?
parents then. Well, we just released a book actually on the band, which shows it's a very kind of visual book, and it shows people that, because a lot of people think, oh, Boy George just come to this look and it's part of a pop image, but I've actually been doing it for a lot longer, and I spent a long time trying to get people to know me and to get, you know, used to my face. And actually before I started Culture Club, I'd been on quite a few TV shows, and everybody said, oh yeah, George is fab, you know, he looks great, but really no thanks when the band started. But I've actually been looking like this for a long time, you know.
What did your mum say when you first started doing it?
My mother loves me like any mother loves their children, you know.
One of the things that intrigues me about it, because you and I have never met before, and I've never really seen how well you do the makeup. I mean, fellas don't put on makeup generally. Now, it is an art. You weren't made up by the BBC people. You do it yourself. Now, how did you learn that?
Well, I've just been doing it over a period of time, really, since I was very young. I mean, obviously, when you start doing it, you do it very badly. But one of the things I find important, you know, as a performer, is that, you know, if you're a rock star, that's all very well and good, but as a personality, there's a lot more that goes into it, and I'd much rather be a personality. And all those things, like kids don't want to know that you've had your makeup done by somebody else. They do want to know that it's real, and I think that what I'm doing is probably a lot more real than what most pop stars do, because I do go out like this, you know, and I don't feel embarrassed about it. I enjoy it.
Do you go the far extreme though? A lot of women, of course, pluck their eyebrows and wax their legs and keep thin, keep on dieting. I mean, do you take it that extreme? Do you find that once you've got the persona, the makeup, you have to add the rest?
Well, if you look in the book, I mean, I used to be a lot more meticulous than I am now. I mean, I look very meticulous, but I was more, you know, more.
Meticulous in what way? Or
Just-
what do you mean?
Just a lot more fussy, you know. I think that as you know, because I'm involved in the pop industry now, I don't have much time, you know. I mean, I get up here 6:30 this morning and I was late, whatever, so you have to rush. I mean, if I have a long time, then I can really go to
I was going to
town.
ask, how long is it? I mean, the hassle that men have to cope with is shaving. That's bad enough.
And that's the worst thing in the world.
But to have to apply makeup as well as that, it's always occurred to me one of the great advantages we have
The
as
only thing
women
is,
we're
you
not
know,
expected to make
I'm
up.
very set in my ways in that, you know, thing, because I've been doing makeup for such a long time, so I just do it. It's not something I think about anymore, and I have a routine. And once you have a routine, you just get on with it, you know.
Do you change your personality with
Not
makeup
at all,
on?
no, not at all.
The Boy George that without the makeup and all the gear
Well, I
is
mean,
very
basically, I mean, I'm George O'Dowd, and the Boy George is just something I added on, you know, for a laugh. It's not anything serious. I'm a very real person, I think, in every way.
When will we ever see the George O'Dowd with the straight hair?
Didn't you see me in the papers a couple of weeks ago at the airport with no makeup on?
So you won't go on like a Danny LaRue into the future with all
I
this
don't think
makeup.
I've got very
all
much
those
in common with Danny LaRue.
things. I'm sure.
I waited for you to grow a beard, and that's see George O'Dowd.
I grew a beard when I was on holiday, actually. It looked quite hideous.
Yeah, I bet it did. Well, sit tight for a while with your little friends. I don't know who these are, but we'll
This
come
is
back.
the rest of the band, actually.
Are they? Culture Club. Okay, we'll come back later to you. But in the morning when you get up, what do you have?
Cornflakes and milk.
Yes,
Usually a cup of tea.
yes. And then at lunchtime?
If I can have eggs and bacon, I will, if I've got time. You know, this morning I didn't have time.
Yeah.
But I don't really believe in dieting. I think fat people, I think it's going to be very fashionable to be fat, actually.
Yes.
Oh, good, we're in fashion then.
I think we've had a big boom of dieting with Jane Fonda and all these people. I mean, some people will follow it, but I think basically, I mean, it's going to be very fashionable to be fat.
Okay, what do you have for lunch and then for dinner?
I have French, you know, salmon, stuff like that, anything,
Yes.
really fattening things like mayonnaise,
Yes. And then
fish soup, bread, whatever, you know.
everyone is in the right psychological mood
We're
at
not.
home. If you like.
I have been hysterical with that, Celine. It's the most wonderful combination, like the Thompson twins gone funny. Is that who they are, by the way, George?
The Andrews sisters. Oh, that's the rest of the band, actually, yeah.
Is it?
That's Roy, Mikey and John. They
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
come, so I brought their copies.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
I've got a vinyl record too.
There's a kind of... There's... I wanted to ask you, you know in your show you had, which I think is one of the funniest bits, the dog riding past on a bicycle and things like that. Is that your idea to have them on?
Just for no reason.
It's so funny.
Just for no reason.
It's because the fact that you don't do anything when they've driven past.
Just have them there. We had a penguin called Pringle. For no reason.
Do you know
Now, that's the most boring statement today, isn't it? I was forced into it. I've been sat here just ignored.
Do you know what you remind me of? E.T. Do you know little E.T. with his big eyes? When you keep a straight face, yes. Do you not feel like E.T. sometimes? Lonely and vulnerable and...
I am lonely and vulnerable.
Mixed up
I need the love of a bad woman. I like you when you used to be when you were a stuntman on Songs of Praise.
I don't remember that.
You can brighten this programme by leaving it.